Hello. Hello. Let everything chase you, and it will, is the title for today's video. And as you are coming in, please do like the video. Like it because it helps me out, of course. And feel free to say hi in the chat. I love seeing you guys. But again, today's topic is let everything chase you, and it will. So, are you tired of trying to make things work? Does it feel like success is just always right out of your grasp? Or does it feel at times that things are starting to work or they're starting to manifest for you, but then it all fizzles out at the last minute? Well, if that is the case, then please do stay tuned and follow me in today's live because I'm going to be showing you why it's so important to just allow yourself to be chased. And that's what's really critical in manifesting the things that you want. And also why we are often confused and think that we have to do in order to receive. Okay, we want to clear up this confusion so that you allow yourself to just receive. Very important thing that you have to be able to do in order to manifest all the things that you want. Allow yourself to be chased. Now, again, as you're coming in, say hello. Let me know if you can hear me. Nice to see you guys. Hello, Abundant Queen. Hi, Peace. Happy Daisy. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Hello, Louise. Rainbow Traveling Yogi. Island Joy. Valerie D. My lovely assistant Mary is here. Hello, Mary. Picket Music. R.D. Yates 1. Snow Sparkle. Bell Adventures. So many people here. Hi, Banji. Nice to see you. Yes, as you're coming in, say hello, like the video. And of course, if you have manifesting questions, by all means, go ahead and drop them into the chat because I do like to stop and answer some of those as I'm going along. But again, today we're talking about let everything chase you and it will. So I want to talk about something that I think I've only mentioned very, very briefly in response to a viewer question on a live many lives ago. I didn't go into it fully. It's an important thing to understand. And so it's kind of a new thing to talk about, but to help you understand why when you let things chase you, you end up accumulating the things that you want. And when you chase after stuff, it runs away from you. Okay? So it really ties into the idea, and I know this can be a sensitive idea for people at times, but we're going to break it down pretty simply. The idea of gender, believe it or not, gender. Okay. And I don't know if any of you guys have read this book or not before, but there's a book called The Kabbalion. It's on the Hermetic principles. And I'm mentioning this because if you like spirituality, like if you like my content, you might be into spirituality as well. But this is a really cool book. If you haven't picked it up and read it, I recommend that you do. It's very helpful in understanding how everything kind of fits together. But it's based on really philosophy from ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, all right? And it comes up with these laws of the universe. And one of the laws that they have is the law of gender. And so it speaks in this text about how everything can be divided into masculine and feminine, masculine energy and feminine energy. Now, that's not to say that you're all one or the other, okay? So like for me, I'm a woman, so that's feminine, but I do have some masculine tendencies. Like I like to go to the gym. I like fast cars. I like shooting guns. And so you can have both within yourself. But the idea is that everything is broken down into gender. Now, why this is important when it comes to the context of manifesting is you have to understand that the genders actually represent opposing energy forces. All right. So masculine energy is the energy of go. It's the energy of action. It's an energy of maybe providing or even giving. Okay. But the idea is that the masculine moves outside of itself. That's what it does. Okay. And the feminine is receptive energy. So the feminine energy allows things in. Okay. So this is a very important thing to understand about manifesting and the law of attraction, because with the law of attraction, again, it's ask, believe, receive, receive. So reception, receiving, is feminine energy. Now, this is entirely why people often struggle with receiving and allowing things to come to them, which is that it's very dominant, at least in American culture. Masculine energy has been conditioned as the more dominant energy. Okay, so go out and do, take action. Okay, a lot of times you'll see women like myself that we're not all feminine, like we kind of have some more masculine traits. And so, because masculine energy has been promoted so heavily, a lot of people believe that that's the quality energy. That's the energy that gets things done. That's the energy that you need to do in order to get the things that you want. But it's not. It's actually the exact opposite energy. Now, feminine energy is not about taking action. Feminine energy is about sitting back and receiving. So when you're in your feminine energy, whether you are a man or a woman, you are in that state of receiving things, receiving abundance, receiving material items, receiving success, receiving promotion, receiving. Okay. You have to be in your feminine energy. And so this is why it is confusing for some people, because they've been conditioned to think they have to act in order to get, but it's actually the opposite. Okay. And so I'm mentioning this now because I think this is a very helpful thing to understand, which is that when you are in feminine energy, things just come to you. Okay. So the egg is chased by the sperm. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. The sperm is chasing the egg. The egg is not chasing the sperm. All right. And so you have to keep that kind of at the forefront of your mind. Maybe not that specifically, but that when you are being chased, you are in the process of attracting. And so when the topic today is let everything chase you, that's what I'm talking about, is that when you sit back and allow things to come, everything that you want will show up. But you have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to suspend being in your masculine energy and allow things to come to you. Okay? So just as a quick explanation, and I'll give a couple more in a moment, okay? But I want to make this abundantly clear in today's video. There is the action and then there's the receiving. They're two opposing things. So some people might say something like, well, I had to take action to get a job. I had to write my resume. I had to call a bunch of places. I had to go to a bunch. I had to do all this stuff to get the job. Okay. This is flawed thinking. And I'm going to talk about this a number of times because it has to be understood. The whole process of putting out the resume or calling around different places or going on the different job interviews, that was in your masculine energy. Okay. But when you got the job, where were you and what were you doing? Chances are you are sitting on your couch and you receive a phone call or an email or a notification. And the job being obtained by you occurs when you're doing nothing. Rather, that job reaches out to you in its masculine energy and you receive it in your feminine. I'm going to expand on this a little bit more, but this is very, very, very important to understand because most people want to just stay in their masculine and keep trying. But until you sit down on the couch, you can't really receive that phone call. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Oh, I saw something here I wanted to answer. Happy Koala asks, can you please talk about the waiting period and trusting the process? Okay. Waiting periods are not required. Okay. They're not required. So, and that's something that's put out there a lot, that you have to wait for things to come. There is no specific set amount of time that must elapse for you to attract anything. Anything can be attracted instantaneously. What will slow down the process and create the waiting is if we have a belief structure that this takes time. So, for instance, maybe I went to that job interview, okay, and I believe it's going to take them 2 weeks to get back to me. Well, then I'm going to probably be waiting, probably around 2 weeks. Okay, so the waiting periods are things that we create within our own belief structures. Trusting the process is really what today's video is all about. Is that I want to prove to you guys again and again and again that when you are just sitting back and kicking back, that's when you attract. And I want to use tangible, experiences that you guys have seen, because that's what's going to allow you to trust the process. And I know that because that's been my experience. I used to be very much do, make it happen, worry about it, call the job a bunch of times, make sure they got my application. I used to be like that. And through observation and noticing how it actually works, the more you do that, the easier it will be for you to trust the process, because you'll understand what kind of energy you're in. Okay, so that's been the most helpful thing for me when it comes to trusting, is just observing how things actually manifest. Okay, great question. Oh, thank you for the super. Isn't it wonderful? It's your first live. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. All right. Very good. Oh, I'm going to remember today. Hey, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, follow me on Facebook and or Instagram if you haven't already. I like to do lives like this every single week. I love seeing you guys, so please make sure to subscribe. Check those little notification bells so that you are notified when I go live. And additionally, if you are enjoying today's video and you like the idea of manifesting, but you haven't yet taken my manifesting test, make sure to do that. Okay, so if you want to know for sure that manifesting is real and that you really do create your reality with your mind, I've designed a very simple and very quick 5-minute test where you can prove it to yourself by putting something out and watching it come back. So to take that test, again, it's free and it's very quick. You can find it at manifestingtest.com. Again, that link is manifestingtest.com. We will also have links in the chat, in the description. On Instagram, the link is in the link tree in my bio. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I remembered to ask people to subscribe earlier in the video. Usually it's like the last 10 minutes. I finally remember. All right, very good. Oh, we've got another super sticker here. Thank you so much. I do not know how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for the super. I do appreciate it. Thank you much. Adrian likes the example. Sperm chases the egg, interviewing process. Okay, good. If you like that, then hopefully this will help too. Okay. What was I going to talk about? Oh, okay. So again, we're going to talk about trusting the process. I want you guys to really understand this, that it comes when you chill. And I want to demystify some of these things that interfere with our ability to believe that. Okay, so here is another example. Again, we're talking about the difference between really masculine energy and feminine energy. Feminine energy is receptive energy. You have got to be in receptive energy in order to attract the things that you want. When you are in feminine energy, you are being chased. You are allowing things to chase you. So just like you might expect in traditional gender roles, traditional ones, okay, usually you would expect the man to chase the woman, right? That's kind of what you have to do here. You have to allow the thing that you want to chase you. Let me give you another example. Okay, so sometimes I get questions from people about building business or about making sales. So here's another great example. So there's this belief structure people have that if you are going to make a sale, that means you are doing something. Okay, so I am, out there making a sales pitch. I am meeting with clients. I am telling them about the product. I am doing, doing, doing. That is masculine energy. Well, Andrea, if I have to do all that, how come it didn't just come to me? I didn't just sit there. Understand what kind of energy is going on. In a sales process, you may see this. You may see somebody, give a sales pitch or meet with a client or send out some information. You may see that. That is the person in their masculine energy. Do, 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 do. However, the sale is not made until the salesperson sits back and the person who's buying takes the action. They're the ones who are writing the check. They are the ones that are signing up. They are the ones that are in that doing. In the moment that the sale is being made, the salesperson is being chased by the buyer. That's the way that works. Now, I mentioned this movie before, like if you like sales and business, this is an older movie, but it's like one of my favorites, and it's called Boiler Room. If you've never seen it, it's older, but it's really good if you like business and you like sales. And there's a scene where they're teaching the guy how to sell. Okay. He's teaching someone how to sell over the phone. And the guy's over the phone and he's calling the client or calling the potential client and telling him all the reasons why he should buy. And then at the moment that it's time to make the sale, his mentor tells him, shh, shut up, say nothing. And he holds him back and he won't let him say anything else. He wants to say more, but he won't let him say anything else. And the buyer on the other side of the phone is like, you know what? Go ahead and sign me up. And it's a really great example of this dynamic. The salesperson must stop with the masculine energy. And this is a thing that gets people in trouble when it comes to sales. So if you run a business or if you do sales, notice that when you actually make a sale, the client calls you or they sign up. And it happens when you pull back your masculine energy and you allow them to chase you. The best salespeople in the world are very, very good at this. They're very good at just shutting up when it's time to shut up, pulling back, and then letting the buyer come to them. Very important thing to understand. Ooh, Instagram's telling me stuff. We good? Am I still on Instagram? It showed me some kind of notification. All right, please do keep that in mind. I see we got some supers here. Thank you, Snow Sparkle. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, speaking of sales, oh yeah, we got another sale coming. Let me mention this real quick while I'm thinking about it. So right now I'm going to be in my masculine energy, guys. And you know what? Guess what? I don't expect anyone to buy this right now because I'm doing, okay? Right now I'm doing. No sale is going to come in on this one right now. And it's not available anyway yet, okay? But next, in a couple of weeks, I've got a sale going on in 2 more of my manifesting programs. So if you haven't taken either of these yet and you've been interested, heads up because they'll be on their best price of the year sale June 12th. And the names of these programs are Manifesting Mastery and Signs from the Universe. So if you haven't seen these programs before, Manifesting Mastery is really a great program for people who are either beginners to the law of attraction or who are intermediate students who haven't been seeing a lot of results yet. It is a step-by-step boot camp geared towards allowing you to understand how to effectively manifest. Okay, so that is really a confidence building program to help you develop 100% confidence in your ability to manifest desired results in your reality. Very good if you are newer to the law of attraction or you just haven't been seeing results. The other program that will be on its best price of the year sale is Signs from the Universe. And Signs from the Universe is about learning how to interpret signs and symbols that come your way. You can actually interpret your reality moment by moment and the symbols that come to you to enable you to know what kind of direction to take, when it's time to move forward, when it's time to stop, what things to do and not to do. And so taking this program will help you understand how to read these signs and symbols. Again, those programs will both be on sale in a couple weeks. So if you are interested in getting on the list for that one, go ahead and sign up. There should be links in the description on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm sure Mary's putting it into the chat. On Instagram, I don't quite have it up on the link tree in my bio, but come back later. I'll put that up right after the video is over. But if you sign up and put in your email there, I will send you the discount codes when those two programs go live. So if you're interested in either of those, please go ahead and sign up for that. Okay. Yeah, and fun fact about the sales, and I've mentioned this before, is that, you know, when I do sales on my program, you know, it's a very interesting thing because I will take some action. I may do some stuff. I let people know about it. But on the day that I actually have sales, I usually take it really easy. Like sometimes I'll just take the whole day off, go to the beach or do whatever. And that period of being in my feminine energy is what allows me to attract lots of sales to me. And so this is an important thing to understand, guys, is that do not rely on your masculine energy to get it all done. You can go out there and have fun and take action, but things are going to come to you when you are in the feminine receptive state. Super important thing to understand. Oh, Gigi's on the test. Okay, Gigi took the manifesting test. You did it a few years ago and it 100% works. Yes, it does. Then you put it into practice for something you've been wanting for 30 years. And within 3 weeks, it happened. Ooh, good job. Christina likes the analogy because she's a realtor and needed to hear this today. Yeah. Yeah, so you can take all the action, but when you sit back, let them come back. They got to chase you. You got to let everything chase you to come to you. So many questions I want to answer here. I'm just trying to read through real quick. Fairy Girl, hi Andrea, that's the best topic ever. I'm in server pain because I got so stressed out by working too much so that my lower back muscle started to spasm. How can I learn not to have fear of the unknown? Oh, you're in severe pain. Severe pain. Okay. Yeah. You know, if you've ever heard of Louise Hay, I'm sure you guys have heard of Louise Hay. So when people talk to me about like particular physical ailments and they mention something specific, a lot of times I find that her interpretations can be helpful. And I know about the lower back one because I went through the lower back thing way back. I've mentioned it before. So for me, this rang true. And so maybe it would ring true for you too. So I'll mention it. But Louise Hay says that, or said that, she's no longer with us, that the lower back represents support. Okay, so like your back is what supports you. And so when I was talking about that course, signs and symbols, this is kind of one of the things that I'm talking about. Understanding that everything in your reality also functions as a symbol, and you want to understand what the symbol is. So when you have a problem with a particular body part, that body part symbolizes something. Okay, and so the symbolism behind the lower back is support or being supported. Okay, so when I had back pain and I was having spasms, it was because I didn't feel supported. I felt like I had to do everything myself. I didn't feel like I could just sit back and trust. Okay, so what I might recommend in this particular situation is I want you to think about how many different ways that you are supported. Okay, so like right now, I'm supported in this chair. Right now, I'm supported in this conversation. I'm supported with enough air to breathe. I'm supported with sunshine. And I want you to think about how many ways you are supported. For me, that was very helpful. Very, very helpful. Yeah, because it sounds like to me, I got to figure this out, but I don't know how things are going to work out. But if you come to understand and really know internally that you're always supported, you don't need to fear the unknown because you know everything's going to be okay. But that requires you to develop within yourself an inner monologue that says, I am supported, because your reality reflects your inner monologue. Okay, so I would really work with that. I am supported, until that really becomes so dominant that you don't worry about the future because you know you're always supported. When you get to that place, for me, the back pain just went away. Okay, so try that out. Good luck. Good question. Marina asks, how can I apply this to customers of my business? Same thing. Yeah. Thank you for the super. Same thing. So, you can use your masculine energy with your customers to give. Okay. So, one thing that I mentioned was, masculine energy goes outside of itself. So, masculine energy gives. That's basically what it does. And feminine energy receives. So, you can give to your clients, give to your customers. Don't attempt to take it from them, though. Does that make sense? This is kind of the conundrum people have, is like, I want to try and make the sale happen. Don't try to give them the information, give them a sample, give them a friendly hello, but when it's time to make the sale, step back. So let's say that you own a store. I'll just give this as an example. Let's say that you own a store and it's an actual storefront, like a brick and mortar, okay? And somebody walks in. You can say hello to them. Hey, if you need anything, let me know. Okay? That's an action. But then you kind of step back and let them do their business. And if they need, they will come to you. It's that kind of thing. Have you ever been in a store before? I know I have. Okay? And then I don't go back to these stores where you go into the store and the people that are working there won't leave you alone. They keep, do you need anything? Do you need anything? Do you need anything? It's like they're chasing. You don't want to be doing that, okay? Because you will start to run away at that point. So what you want to be doing is you want to give your customers an opportunity to chase you. Okay? Does that make sense? So put yourself out there, but then retreat. I hope that makes sense. It's the retreating part that's going to bring it to you. Okay. Let's talk about something else with this, because this is another important thing to understand, okay? Timing. So this is also a discussion about timing. And somebody asked a question earlier about waiting periods. No, you don't have to wait, okay? That's not what I'm mentioning. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But what I am saying is that in order for you to be good at being chased and letting things chase you, you have to become very good at managing your own timing. And what I mean by that is doing things in the order that works for you. Okay? Now, when you're doing things in the order that works for you, you are staying internally focused. You're not going outside of yourself. So that is feminine energy. Again, the sperm chases the egg. The egg's just sitting there, minding its business, okay? Doing what it needs to do on its own timing. The sperm chases the egg, Okay. So what you want to be doing is you want to, for your feminine energy to be moving appropriately to receive, you want to be managing your timing according to you and what you wish to be doing in order to get results. Let me give you an example. This is another way to think about this, to allow things to chase you. So I'm thinking back, this was a client I had. I used to do one-on-one coaching quite a bit years back. I don't do much of it now, but I had a client and she was somebody who wanted to have a specific person manifestation, okay? So there was some guy that she really liked at the gym that she went to. And so what she had been doing was she would go to the gym and she would try to put herself in the position so that he could come to her. So, if he was working out by the bench press, she would go work out kind of by the bench press. Or, she knew he usually showed up at 9 a.m., so she would try to show up around 9 a.m. That was what her strategy was before she came to see me. And so we talked a little bit about this chasing dynamic because you can really only be one or the other. You're either chasing or you're being chased. So in that particular way, she was chasing. She was taking action, trying to get a result and not being successful at all. Okay. So what I told her to do was stop doing that. Okay. I want you to manage your gym routine according to you, period. So leave the house when you're ready to leave it or when you want to leave it. Don't be racing to get there at 9, okay? Or taking your time. If you're ready to go at 8, just go, okay? If let's say that he's over at the bench press, but for whatever reason you feel like you need to go use the ladies' room, go use the ladies' room, okay? Stop chasing this guy around the gym and really dial into what do I want to be doing? What's the next part of my workout, etc. So she got back to me and was like, this is amazing. Because she did this one time. And as she was coming out of the bathroom, he was standing there waiting for her because he had seen her go into the women's locker room. Okay. So just doing this flipped the dynamic. As soon as she started to move to her own rhythm, the desired result came to her. So this is something I want you guys to understand, which is that you need to be following your timing. When you are following your own timing, you are like that egg, just sitting there doing things on your own timetable, allowing things to come to you. And speaking of gyms, in my town, they've recently opened a new one. And so I joined a new gym and it's actually pretty good. It's an EOS gym. Have you guys heard of this before? EOS? I'd never heard of it before, but evidently they're like a big chain now and they're popping up everywhere. And it's really nice. It's big. They got all kinds of cool equipment. And so I've been going there for like the last month or so and really like the gym. Now, they must be really good at their feminine energy, okay? Because when I first signed up, and I signed up right when they opened, it wasn't very busy. 1 month later, this place is packed. They are attracting clients, customers like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so good for them. They did a good job manifesting. Bad for Andrea because now Andrea has to wait for the machines, right? So like last weekend, I was noticing, I'm like, man, this place is getting so busy. And I have another membership somewhere else. I'm like, if it's busy, I guess I'll just go over to the other gym. It's not that big of a deal. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, it'd be nice if it was just a little bit slower. A little bit slower. And it's a very interesting thing that has happened this last week. I don't know why, but for some reason, I have wanted to go to sleep really early. So I don't usually fall asleep until maybe closer to 11 p.m. most nights. And I usually wake up at like 5:30 in the morning and then I go to the gym. But for whatever reason, I've been very tired. Like I want to go to bed at 9 p.m. And I fought it the first couple of days. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And then on the third day, I did. I fell asleep at 9 and I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, this is the worst. So I'm like, let me stay in bed. So I stayed in bed for a while and tried to get more rest and still got to the gym at the same time. But you know what? Last night, I'm like, you know what? I just want to go to bed at 9. Whatever. I woke up again at 3:30. I'm just going to go with it. I'm ready to get up. Let's get up. Let's get up for the day. So I got up, got ready. Within an hour or so, I was at the gym super early, but there was nobody there. It was like just a few people, and I got to use every machine. There was no traffic on the road. I'm perfectly well rested because I got just as much sleep as I usually do. And it dawned on me this was my timing to get something that I wanted. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep this timing or not, but when I was fighting that timing and staying in bed, I was still showing up at the gym at the same time when it was busy. But when I followed my internal timing, now all of a sudden something I wanted came through to fruition. And so this is an important thing to understand. Now, I know not everybody can be getting up at 3:30 in the morning. I don't recommend it if that's not for you. But a lot of times we have scheduling or we are doing things according to somebody else's timetable. So in my case, I can wake up whenever I want. I can go to bed whenever I want. I don't need to use an alarm clock. I have full jurisdiction to do whatever I want. However, it's not normal for people to wake up at 3:30. It's not quote unquote appropriate. So I was trying to fit into the other people's way of doing things. And that's more masculine energy. When you change your internal timing to fit in with everybody else and what everybody else is doing, that's you moving against your own internal clock, your own internal timing. And it's moving out of feminine energy into masculine energy. And so when you do this, you won't line up with as many results. So I'm mentioning this because as much as you guys can, I know not all of you can come and go as you want, but as much as you can, follow your own internal clock. Come and go as you want to. Stop trying to be there at the right time and instead go when you want to go and the timing will be correct. It may not seem like that's the way that it works, but it really, really is. I've seen time and time again, like if my husband's rushing out of here, like he's rushing to get to work, he'll have the worst day. It's like one bad thing after another, after another, after another, because he's moving outside of himself and he's moving against his internal clock. But when he leaves and he's moving at his own pace, everything seems to work out. Okay, so moving at your own timing, irrespective of what your manifestation is doing, is you being into that, is allowing yourself to get into that feminine energy so the thing that you want can come to you. So just like my client, she finally just went to the locker room when she wanted to. When she came out, he was standing there waiting for her. First time ever. Why? Because she let him chase her. That's the way you got to do it with everything. Very important thing to keep in mind. Ooh, another super. Nick. Thank you, Nick. My wife and I are house hunting in Irvine, California, but home prices exceed our budget. We've mapped options, visualized, and toured open houses. Any tips to speed up the process? So are you finding any homes that you want? Just nothing is coming up? If you've been in this process where, I'm not sure, but if you've been in this process where you've been doing the work, so you've been going with the realtor, you've been mapping, trying, and it feels like no options are showing up, that's a good sign that it's time to kind of stop and get back into your own kind of internal way of doing things and pull back on the action. Okay, so I'm glad you brought this up. This is a good point. If you guys are taking action and it just feels like things are getting pulled away, it means you haven't stopped to pause. Okay, so in a situation like this, I would recommend kind of maybe pull back from it. It doesn't mean that you can't look into it again in the future or even very soon down the pipeline. You certainly can. The point is as long as you keep chasing it, it's going to run away from you, whatever that is. I'm assuming it's finding a property that you like. Okay. So what I would recommend is just go do something else or get a different project to go do. And the idea is maybe for today, maybe for this weekend, whatever. Get yourself immersed in something else, because as soon as you do that, you stop chasing what you want, which is you being in your more feminine energy and allowing it to come to you. So I'm mentioning this because this reminds me a lot of like when I'm dealing with problems. And I mentioned this in the last live, is that, problems will solve themselves. So if you're having a hard time making it happen and you step aside and just get back into relaxing and having fun, then it will resolve itself. So there was an example that I gave about scripting the last live that I did. So I was working, I had been working for a while, I was getting tired, but it was time for me to write out the script for that week's live. And I didn't feel like it. I just didn't feel like it. So instead, I'm like, I saw some Amazon packages sitting over there on that couch that you guys can't see. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go return the Amazon packages. So I did. I left my house. I was supposed to be working, supposed to be house hunting. Okay. I was supposed to be working. I left and did what I wanted to do, got into my own timing. And while I was standing in line to return the packages, I pulled my phone up just to kind of screw around, and like a lightning bolt, the whole idea for the next video just came into my mind. And so by the time that I had got up there to return the packages, I already had the basic structure for the outline done. You get it? So it's not that you're not ever going to look for the house hunting. It's that when you feel like you're going and it's not working, you're going and it's not working. Okay, time to take a break, get back into my own timing, because now I'm getting back into receptive energy. Then it shows up. Okay? Hope that helps. Oh, I'm not the only one? Thank God. Well, I aspire to be at 340 instead of 330. If this keeps up, I'm gonna be surprised. I've never woken up this early normally, but it is naturally. I don't use an alarm, so it is what it is. Oh, thank you, Nilsa, Renee, for the super. Thank you. How to best relax and just let be. It takes, I think, a degree of working on the self-awareness of what you want to be doing and how you feel. This is the big thing. Again, we've all been kind of conditioned into the idea that the masculine energy is the preferred energy. Go, do, hustle, grind, okay? We've all kind of been taught that. And that is a training away from that natural feminine receptive state of just being in your receptive energy and doing what you want to do. So what you want to be doing as much as you can is asking yourself, what do I feel like doing? How do I feel right now? And based on those answers, navigating yourself rather than doing what you're supposed to do or what you think other people want from you. It's not appropriate to wake up at 3:30. You need to wake up at 5:30. That's the right why. This is the time I wanted to get up. You need to become clear on that. Okay, so relaxation is really about being clear about what you need in the moment. Asking yourself the question, what do I need right now to feel better? And then doing it. Okay, rather than charging ahead. Okay, because if you do that consistently, you're going to be relatively relaxed most of the time. And if you're not, you'll be aware enough to stop and sit down or do whatever you need to do to raise your vibration and to get back into the receptive state. Hope that's helpful. The big thing that gets in the way is, just fighting ahead and doing what you think you're supposed to be doing. You got to train yourself out of that. Okay. We've got some more here. Again, today we're talking about let everything chase you, and it will. Okay. If you let it, it will. If you keep chasing after it, it's just going to run away from you. Okay. You've got to sit back and let it chase you. So this is something I mentioned before, but it's worth mentioning again, because I really want to give you guys lots of evidence that sitting back is the trick. It's not that you can't take action. You can, but that's not the time that it's going to come. Okay? So you got to understand that. It comes when you sit back and chill. All right, so this is the other piece of evidence that you want to start collecting and noticing in your reality, which is that the person who's in charge and the person who gets the most is the person who does the least. Always. Okay. And the more you notice this, the more you're going to want to step into this energy for yourself. So the examples that I always give is like, if you look at the company, the boss is the one who gets to sit in the office. Okay. Everyone comes to him. Most of the money comes to him. All of the success comes to him. He's not toiling in the factory. He's sitting back. That's not to say he doesn't ever step into his masculine energy. No. But he's sitting back more than the workers. The other example I give a lot is like a king or a queen sitting on the throne. They're not like the peasants toiling in the fields. No, they're sitting on the throne. Everything comes to them. The head of the household, when you think of the person that's in charge of the household, whether it's mom, dad, or otherwise, that's the person who's doing the least effort. Everybody else is running and doing their bidding. It's an important thing to understand. Feminine energy is a lot more powerful than we've been taught to believe. Because when you're sitting back and allowing, that's when you get. And the people that get the most are the most effective at hanging back. This was a lesson I learned a lot when I moved into the community that I live in now. And so before I moved here, I lived in a much more working class kind of area, and good people. I liked living there. I liked the people there. However, I wanted to move into a more affluent community so that I could be around people with money, because like attracts like, right? So that was something that I wanted to do. And so when we moved here, we started meeting people and we started making friends. And it was very interesting to me how different some of these people behaved. Because back where I came from, if you went to a party at someone's house, they were doing all the work. Okay. They were cooking all the food. They were running around. They were doing all the effort. But here it was different. It was like, oh, I'm going to hire someone to do it, or they would ask you to do stuff. There's this expectation that other people are going to work on my behalf. And at first I found it rather off-putting with new friends that they had this expectation that other people were going to work for them. But then I started to connect the dots. I'm like, oh, that's why they're attracting so much. They're not taking all the action. They're sitting back. They're letting people bring stuff to them. They're letting people do the heavy lifting. They're letting people execute on their ideas. That's what you got to do to let things work. Okay, so it may sound lazy. It may sound wrong, but it works. So if you want to attract things, you got to hang back. Albleen K Beauty, thank you for the super. Hi, Andrea. Recently started as a financial planner. I'm not getting clients and not meeting weekly. Goes for appointments. How to attract more clients? Give with zero expectation and pull back. Okay. So again, when we're talking about work does mean that there's action being taken. So there is masculine energy that's going on, right? That's happening. The problem that people have with the masculine energy, or the doing, okay, or the financial plan, the getting of the clients, is that we're taking action outside of ourselves with the expectation that we're going to get something back. What you want to do instead with your work, okay, you want to do with zero expectation and pull back. I don't mean that you don't have positive expectation that it's going to come. That's not what I mean. But I'm not doing this to force this person to be my client. I'm going to give to them. I'm going to smile to them. I'm going to show them what they want. And I'm going to pull back and let them decide what they're going to do. That's the trick. Okay. So you can meet with the clients. You can tell them what you got to offer. Okay. But after that process, step back, let them come to you. The other thing that's helpful is, as you're speaking to potential customers and clients, you want to be in a high vibration. So a lot of times when people walk into these interactions, they're worried or they're stressed. Are they going to sign? What if they don't do it? Are they going to like me? What if they don't like me? And it turns into this whole mess of resistance. You don't want to do that at all. If you're going to take action in your work, you want to take it from a place of having fun and joy. So when you guys take action in your work, whether it's getting customers or otherwise, what I recommend that you do is you look at it as a game. I'm going to go in here and have some fun. How much fun can they have too? Can I give them some fun? Can we have a fun interaction? Try to smile, get excited before you walk in. Another thing that you can do is that when you're talking to potential clients, I want you to think about, what do I like about this person? Why is this person interesting? So now the focus isn't on, oh my God, what if they don't buy my product? But instead, I like this person. I like this client. When you shine on somebody, I like you, I like you, I like you, they're going to mirror that back to you. Now the potential client's going to like you too. Probably going to want to buy your stuff. Okay, so it's really about walking into these interactions when you're looking for clients and doing your work by getting yourself in a state where this is a game, I'm having fun, I like these people. When you're trying to close somebody, it's about give them, use your masculine energy to give them what they want, give them the answers that they're looking for, tell them about the product, but then step back and let them come to you. Okay? Great question. Louise is just happy I showed up today. Yeah, I took like a week off. Week and a half, but I'm back. Thank you for the super. Samar J, thank you for the super. Samar says, my 21-year-old son has ADHD. He's not working, not studying, and seems lost. He lives with me. How can I support him without losing myself? Ooh. I'm trying to think about how I would answer. It depends. Like, do you want him to move on? A lot of times what goes on with kids, I'll just put this out here. It take from it what you want. A lot of times when kids are in this stage, like the leaving the nest thing, the parents want to be supportive. So they're making things very easy for the child. So, letting them live there rent free, helping them out with everything. And then the child doesn't gain their independence and want to move on. Okay. So a lot of this, when this kind of stuff happens, a lot of times it's because the parent's very worried about the child. Oh, he has ADHD, so he needs my help. Okay. He's got a problem. He can't do it himself. That's kind of the energy that gets put into these situations. And then when we put that energy on the child starts to reflect that more and more. And I should say young adult, not child. The young adult starts to reflect that more and more. I think that he's struggling and then he struggles more. So a more efficient way to handle this would be to pull back and give him more independence and let him fall a little on his own. Okay. So I don't know, like maybe you're making him dinner every night. I'm not saying you are, but just stop doing that. He can handle it. And then what you'll see is he'll start doing that. And like, oh, he could handle that. He's got it together. And he'll get together more. Pull back more. Let him do more. Pull back more. Let him do more. I have children, so I get it. As a parent, you want to try and do. But the problem is the more that you do for the kids over time, the less empowered they become. They develop something called learned helplessness, where they need people to do everything for them. And it's because we've been projecting on them, you need to be taken care of. You need to be taken care of. The more you pull back, the older the kids get, the more they step into their own independence, and that starts to build up. Okay? So support him less. Okay? That's how you support him. You're going to support him by supporting him less. Hope that's helpful. Thank you for the superstar. Tweak to perfection. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. I haven't answered a question like this in a while. Kate L. Hi, Andrea. How do you chase weight loss then? Ooh, that's a good question. I've been trying my whole life, even succeeded, but I was never really skinny. I can manifest many things, but this not. And I even gave up on it, but no. Okay. So with weight loss, well, with everything, it's important that you understand what your belief structures are and you either work with them accordingly or you change them. Okay? So ask yourself a question. What do I believe I would have to do in order to lose weight loss? In order to lose weight loss. What do I think I'd have to do in order to lose weight? Okay? What do I think I'd have to do? So, the reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes you guys have ideas about what needs to be done, but we don't want to do that, or we think we can't do that. And so, you have to kind of understand, what do I think needs to be done? Is this realistic or not? Can I shift it? Can I adjust it? But the idea is coming up with something in your mind that feels like, yeah, I could do this. Okay? So I want you to think about that. Like, what do you think you would have to do in order to lose weight? And have you done those things before? Okay? If you've done those things before and they haven't worked for you, I would be looking for a different way to lose. What's a different way to lose weight? And keep asking that question until you start to generate a response that feels like something you could do. Here's the thing to understand. There's 1,000,000,001 ways to lose weight. Okay? All right? There's not just one way. So you got some people that I go to the gym a lot. So people come up to me, I'm on keto. I cut out this. I don't eat this. I went down to this many calories. You know what? I eat lots. And I promise you, there's many different ways that people lose weight. What matters is the person in alignment with that way of doing it. So a lot of times when people are struggling with weight loss, the ideas that come to their mind are ones that they don't really like. I don't want to eat 1,000 calories a day, Andrea. I don't want to give up bread. Well, that's not required. Okay? There's always another way to do it. So when you're struggling to accomplish something, what it really means is that you become very narrowly focused into, this is a way of doing it, but I don't like this way and I don't want to do it, or I don't think it's going to work for me. The universe is infinite. So in a situation like this, I would be asking myself, what are some other ways to lose weight? What are some other ways how might I lose weight? And come up with as many ideas as you can, all right? When something comes up to you, when you come across something that feels like, oh, I think I could do that. That sounds like fun. Execute on that plan, okay? Just for the sake of doing something. Because the reason why I'm going to say this is that if you've been stuck and not losing weight, there's a fundamental belief that something needs to change in order for me to lose weight. So you want to find some way of changing that is agreeable to you. That's the big thing. All right. So that's one thing I'd be asking about. What are the different ways that we could do this? Pick one. And then the thing about it is, with the actual losing of the weight, if you're doing something, if you're on an exercise regimen or you change your diet, whatever it is, whatever plan you picked, what I want you to do is I want you to just do it, but don't get so hammered in on the number. Okay? In your mind, this is going to work, so I'll check in once in a while. But you want to allow yourself to just do it and step back. I've noticed that if I'm wanting to lose weight, the weight comes off the quickest when I'm not pushing. When you guys are pushing because I got a wedding I got to get to, I got to fit into this dress. The more you push, the longer it takes. Okay, so it's kind of a two-pronged thing. You want to do something because the doing of something will give you the faith that it could happen for you. Okay? But you also want to have this attitude of not needing it to happen now. Because then you're doing something that you think is going to work, but you're not putting pressure on the situation. I hope that makes sense. There's 1,000,000,000 ways this can happen. It just usually means that you're narrowed into there's like 1 or 2 or 3 things that I think I have to do, I don't want to do, or I can't do, or they don't work for me. And I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. The universe is infinite. Okay? So there's many different things that are out there. I hope that helps. Okay? Always be giving yourself more options. If you don't like the way the table is set, what do they say? Turn the table over? I forget. I should have known that analogy before I said it. It's a good question. So, Andrea, would you say then that it's important to have balance, action that is fun, stop when it's not, continue again when it is, and sit back and be in receptive mode? Yes. Yes. Okay. So I mentioned before, if you haven't read the Kabbalion, that's this whole feminine masculine thing. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So it's the law that everything is masculine or feminine, but understand one's not better than the other. Okay? This isn't about feminine energy is fabulous and masculine energy is the worst. Okay? That's instead, the universe is kind of built up on this. There is the principle of going outside of yourself, and there's the principle of receiving. And so we're taking action and we're also receiving. What's important is understanding what those roles are and how to use them effectively. When you're in your masculine energy, you should not be expecting to be receiving. That's not the purpose of what you're doing. The purpose of what you're doing is going outside of yourself or giving outside of yourself. Okay, so if we go back to very traditional masculine, feminine roles, very traditional, just to make this easy to understand, you think about the men go out and hunt and they're bringing the food back and giving it to the women, okay? The women are sitting at camp. In that mode, the men aren't looking for anything from the women. They're just bringing to them. Okay? That's what masculine energy is. It's giving energy. It's going outside of yourself energy. There's nothing wrong with it. We all do it. But that's not receptive energy. When you're wanting to manifest things, when you're wanting to receive things, you have got to be in receptive energy, which means you stop pushing forward with it. Instead, you sit back and let the thing that you want come to you. That doesn't mean that action is bad. It's just that there's a confusion about these two energies and what they do. And the predominant problem most people are having is that they're attempting to use their masculine energy to receive. Masculine energy does not receive. Use it to give, use it to support others, use it to have fun, use it to build things, or use it for that. But when it comes to getting things, you want to sit back and let it come to you. Hope that's clear. Okay? Very good question. Which print do I recommend of the Gabalion? I don't remember which one I read. That's a good question. If anyone has a recommendation, feel free to drop it. Music Band-Aid. You jumped on randomly and you've got excellent timing. Yes, you do. Okay. Yeah, so back to that weight loss question. Snow Sparkle says, I dated a guy who ate whatever he wanted and still got ripped. Gym every day, but we loved it. He clearly had his own beliefs that worked for him and he didn't listen to the naysayers. Exactly. A lot of people ask me, how much do you eat? You must not eat that much. No. But I have a belief system that works for me in what I can eat and what I can accomplish. So that's the big thing, is figuring out what kind of system do you want? What kind of system do you believe would work, that would work for you, and you go with that. Doesn't matter if your friend on keto who eats 500 calories a day says it isn't going to work. Okay? And that's a way of following your own timing, right? That's a way of staying in your feminine energy, doing it the way that works for you. Good point. All right. Again, please do remember, I've got this sale coming up. You guys know I put these courses on sale periodically. These two have not been on sale for a year. So they're having their yearly sale in a couple weeks, June 12th through the 19th. One is Manifesting Mastery. Manifesting Mastery is really great for beginners to the law of attraction or for intermediate students who are struggling to manifest. Okay, so if you're not seeing lots of results, this is a good course for you. It's a step-by-step boot camp that's going to help you develop confidence in your ability to manifest consistently. The other one that is on its best price of the year sale is Signs from the Universe. And this program is about interpreting signs, symbols, and guidance that is around you. Like I mentioned earlier in the program, earlier on this live, everything in your reality is symbolic. You can literally look into your reality and get guidance at any time about what direction to take. Is it time to move forward? Should I do A or B? Which direction should I turn in? And this program is going to teach you how to do that. So if you are interested in either of those programs, please make sure to go ahead and sign up for the notifications so that you get the coupon codes when they go live. You can find those just in the description, in the chat. I'm sure Mary's dropped them in somewhere. And in addition to that, if you are on Instagram, they will be in the link tree in my bio shortly. They're not there yet, but I'll do it as soon as I hop off. Again, if you guys have not yet, please make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, like the video, all that good stuff. Yes, I was gone for a while. I do plan on being back next Sunday. So if you'd like to join me again, same place, same time, next Sunday, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But that is going to do it for today. Thanks so much for writing in with all your great questions, for all the great supers. I do appreciate you guys. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.